So welcome back to IGCSE ICT paper where we're working on Feb-March 2023. We're going to carry on this paper for database. We already done with task 1 and 2 for documentation or document production, and we're going to carry on right now to task 3, which is for database. So database says that students at our high school are placed in one of 4 groups, which are called houses. These houses are Jupiter, Mars, Neptune, and Saturn. You are now going to prepare some reports based on the school test. Using database software, import this file. First of all, you need to open Access and make sure you're saving the file in your right working area, which is in your work area. Right now, my work area is here, so make sure it is saved in that location. You can name it whatever you like. And let me right now go and import the first file. According to the question paper, I need to import the first file right now, which is test. So we need to go to external. From external, make sure you're in the import, not in the export section. Click from file, text file. And I need to locate the file from my work area, which is test file. Click on OK. Next, make sure the first row contain the field names. Next. Over here, the primary key, we need to check what is the primary key. Do not import the English field, okay? And using the field names as data type is given over here. Set the registration code as the primary key. So registration code is the primary key. And let me see here. Okay, before I click on finish, go to advanced and make sure, first of all, you're not importing the English field. Okay, so let me see here. There is the English field. So click on skip to skip it because I don't want it to be imported. Okay, and the rest of the points, let's compare them. Okay, so text, all the 4, 5, 6 fields supposed to be text. So text, okay. After that, math supposed to be number with 0 decimal place. I'm going to set these later. So right now I'm just making sure of these points. So long integer, that's correct. It's supposed to be 4 over here. And I am having, yes, 5. And I skipped the English. So let's click on OK. Finish. Let's make sure of the fields. I got them correct or no. So correct. I got maths, computer science, and design science, as it is mentioned here. And it skipped the English field. Right now we need to set these subjects into 0 decimal places. So go to home, click on view design. And go and click on number and set it over here to 0 decimal places. If you want to make sure of it, go back to view and check over here. It is already 0 decimal. There are no decimal points, seems to, but still I'm going to make sure of the others as well. So that's 0. That's as well 0. And this one as well, 0 decimal. Okay, and then I will make sure of the primary key, set to registration code, correct, and save the data and place in the evidence document screenshot showing the field names and all those points. So let me save it, take a screen capture, and let's place it in step 18. If you're not sure of that point, just go back and look at what step you are, and based on it you can decide that you're in the right location putting the step or the screenshot. 19. Import the house CSV file as a new table in your database and set the house code as the field primary key. Okay. So again, the same steps, external, and then here import from text. And I need the house CSV file. First row, and I need to set it to house code. Okay, let me check over here. It's all just text and they didn't ask me to check anything from here, so I'm just going to add it. Okay. Examine this staff file to identify the most appropriate field to use as a primary key. Import this file as a new table in your database and using this field as a primary key. So let's decide which one will be the best primary key. We need to open that staff file. Okay, you can see I have class code, teacher name, subject, and role. One thing here, we will think, of course, of class code as the primary key. Let's do one thing. Let's highlight it and go to conditional formatting. And we can check duplicate values. And if it is duplicated, color it with the light red. You can see here there is no duplication, nothing was colored. So that means this is going to be for sure our primary key. Let's close it. Make sure you're closing it. Do not save it. And after that, you will be able to import it. If it is open, it's not going to be imported. You will get an error message. So that's staff. So that's going to be a primary key as we decided. And then finish it. Okay, the last point is place in your evidence document screenshot showing the field names and data type and the primary key for each in each table. So I have two tables that I haven't taken the staff and the test. Just to make sure of it, the houses and the staff, not the test. This one and this one. So let me take screen capture of this one. And make sure when you're taking screen capture to include the header or the name of that table. And that's step number 19. Just put the header or title together with their answer. Expand it so when you print it out, it's clear. Whatever needed to be enlarged, enlarge it so the examiner can see the answers clearly. Okay, let's move to the next question. 20, edit the following record in the test table. So you're in the test table. You need to edit the following records. So let's go and check. Based on this, let me go to the test table. And Control F, and I'm going to look for that record. Okay, it looks that it's this one. It's the only record that is with this registration code. Class code needs to change from 6B to 6T. So class code is over here. So it's 6B. And it needs to change to 60. So that will become 60 for this one. Okay. Just press on tab and make sure that it has changed without any errors. Check your data entry for errors and save the data. Okay, create one-to-many relationship between all the tables. So we need to set the primary key staff. So between staff table and the class code of the test table, and then I have houses table and the house code of the test table. Okay, let me right now go to the relationship. Go to database tools, relationship, click over all those tables. I'm going to put the test table in the center because it's the main table. And right now I'm going to connect between staff and test by using the class code. So class code is here, and staff supposed to have also class code. So from each direction or any direction, just drag it from one side to another. It doesn't matter which direction to where. And enforce the integral referential integrity. Click on create because it's one-to-many relationship. Another side also between houses and test by dragging from the house code. Here's the house code. Here's the house code. Click over here and create it. Make sure you're saving it. After that, place in your evidence document one-to-many relationship between the tables. So let me take a screen capture of this, adjust it. One thing is, I prefer to take it with a header, so let me include the header as well. And right now this is step 21. So over here is the step 21. Okay, question number 22. Using fields from all tables, produce a tabular report that selects, so that needs to be from all the tables, one thing. And select the records where gender is F, science is 80 or more, class code contains 6. Okay, show only these fields, and it needs to be in this order. And with the data labels displayed in full and do not group them. Stores the data into ascending order depending on the teacher name and descending order depending on the science. Calculate the number of students. Okay, we will come to all those points step by step. So first of all, let's get those fields. So save it. Right now go to create. We're right now going to create a tabular report. Before creating any report, first we need to create a query. So I'm going to click on query design. I'm going to put all the tables. As I mentioned, it needs to be all of them. Expand to see all the fields. And then we need to get these fields, family name, gender, and teacher name. So I'm going to start with the family name, gender, double click on whatever needed, family name, gender, teacher name, and science. Teacher name, science, maths, and computer science. Design technology, house name, and class code. So house name, use house name. House name and class code. Okay, the last thing is the class code. It might get messed up when I make it in the report, so I will need anyway to organize it again. But try to include all of them. So those are my data right now. I'm done with this. Let's apply this points. So the gender is supposed to be only female. First of all, run it and check how many records you have. You have up to 176 records. We need to have the gender to be only female. So the first thing, go to gender and click on F. We got only 84 out of 176. And we need the science to be 80 or more. So if you looked over here in science, they're below 80 as well. So we need just to restrict it to be 80 and higher. So go to science field and write down more than or equal. That's going to be more than or equal to 80. So it's going to show you all the scores. That is 80 and more than 80. 80 is supposed to be also included. There is no 80 anyway. Okay, there is an 80 here. So we're going correct, the right way, and then we need to have the class code to contain number 6. If you noticed here, class code over here, it contains some of the 6 numbers, which is 6L, 6D, and so on. We need only that contains 6. This is not going to be just writing number 6. Here's 6. We cannot just write number 6 like this and run it. Nothing will appear. We need to make it part of it. So to be part of it, we need to put the wildcard, which is star 6 and back star. So it will contain. One thing also, you don't need both side stars. You just need 6, that it is starting with 6, and it doesn't matter what's ending with. So you can put the star at the end. If you put stars at the both side, that means it's going to be included in the middle or anywhere in the text. So this way it's also working, and it shows the examiner you're understanding more about the wildcards if you're putting it at one direction or both direction or which exactly where you want it. So we're done with this. This is done. Right now is the time to save it. Okay, we can add the ascending descending, but still I'm not sure will it work. We need to confirm about it later. So I need my data to be ascending order depending on the teacher's name. So here's the teacher name. I need it to be ascending, and then descending depending on the science. So science supposed to be descending. Teacher's name, and depending on the science descending, it's working correctly. Okay, I'm going to save this query right now because the next step we need to right now make it into the report. I'm going to save it with step 22. And let's go right now and create. Click on the report wizard. And from your query that you just created it, add all of those fields. Go next. Don't group here anything. And if you want to make sure of ascending, descending, you can do it, but it was working fine. I'm not going to touch it again. I'm done with this, done. I'll just make sure of that. Okay, here I need it to be tabular, and I need the portrait. Okay, first let me take the name. That needs to be labeled with this name, and it needs to be on the, oh, wait a bit. No, that's the title of the report. Okay. I'm going to give this title name. I need to make sure of the orientation of the page. It's supposed to be landscape. And click finish. Okay. Is it in this order? First of all, let's check it. Family name, gender, teacher name, then science, maths, computer science. Okay, I need to adjust it. I think probably it's in the right order it came. Just going to make it in layout view so I can see it in a much better way. Okay, I'm going to hold both header and title. So I'm going to press on shift and hold both of them, and I will adjust them. Just make sure nothing is cropped from the type, from the name. All the full name is visible here. Gender, I will do the same thing, and I'm going to grab it to the left side. Teacher name. Then you have the science. Maths. That seems computer science. And then house code, I'm going to make it smaller because there are only 2 digits over here. I'm not going to move it to the house name. Okay, let me make sure of the order right now. So family name, gender, teacher name. Family name, gender, teacher name. Then we have science, maths, computer science. Science, maths, computer science, and design technology. House name and class code. Okay. So we're done with those points. I just want to make sure of the ascending and descending point, make sure of that thing. It's supposed to be ascending depending on teacher's name. Okay, ascending depending on teacher's name and descending after that depending on the science. So yeah, you can see this descending based on the teacher's name first. After that, we're done with this point. We need right now to calculate the number of the students and places this at the end of the report. We need to find the number of the students and we need to place it at the end of the report and we need to give a label on the left side of this value. So to calculate the number of the students, we need to go back to home, click on design view. I'm just going to right click on the teacher's name or just class code, or how can you just maybe from any of the subjects. Okay. And I'm going to get the count. I need to count all of those records. As you can see here, it doesn't matter what field you're selecting, it's just going to count all of them. And if you checked over here right now, we're going to get a total of how many records we're having. I just want to make sure, yeah. If you make sure of the query, it is also 27, so that means it's the correct number. So we need to place it down and we need to make a table we need to make a label on the right side, which is, I'm just going to grab here. Okay, looks okay. They didn't mention where to place it exactly, so you just can place it under any place. And then after that, it needs to fit on a single page wide. So that means, let's check it. Let's try to print preview. Okay, that means one single wide means all the fields are fitting into one single page. That means class code, house name, all those fields are in one page, but the height doesn't matter. It can go to the next page and so on. You can see there is one record here coming and then the total of the records. Includes the title, we already included it, and display your name, center number, candidate number in the footer so it appears in the same position on every single page, and make sure that no other data are displayed or is displayed in the footer. So to do so, go to the design view, and in design view I'm just going to remove that needs to be on every single page, so that's going to come in the page footer. Page report, that's going to be only the last page. So I'm just going to put here, I deleted whatever is not needed. I'm going to go here and pick up the label and I'm going to draw it here, display the center in the footer. It doesn't say where exactly alignment, so I'm just going to make it in the center. So put the name, center number, and your candidate number. Let me have a look at this. Okay. just to be much neater, I need to make it to the one side. I'm just going to grab it to one side. Okay, that's better. Okay. So place your evidence document screenshot showing the database formula to calculate the number of students and save and print your report. So finally, to print your report, you need just to save it. It's already saved. And then you can just click on preview here. And after that, print it out from here. Let me just do the final step, which is taking a screenshot showing the formula, which is going to be from here. Take a screenshot of this one and place it in step 22. Okay, next one is question number 23. Using fields from all the tables, so again from the same old tables, produce a tabular report. So again, we need also tabular report that only select the records, are these records, and these are the selected records we need to. And again, same thing, do not need grouping, and we have ascending order depending on the gender and ascending order also depending on the family name. And page orientation supposed to be portrait, single only page, doesn't matter width or height, it needs to be everything on single page. So let's start first with these fields. So I'm going to close the previous one. Let's start with query. Let's add all the tables. So we need to start with gender, family name, and given name. Gender, family name, given name, house name and maths, computer science, and teacher name. Okay, those are all the fields that we need in this order, and there is a label displayed in full, and do not group them. Okay, and then we need to select the records where the class code is 5C and the house name is only Mars. If you run it, you're going to find up to 176 again, and I need only the class code to be 5C. The class code. Okay, one thing is here, class code is not given here. Yes, class code is not given here, but they're asking you to make it appear only for 5C. So one thing you can do is here, just click on class code. Later you need to untick this. We shouldn't make it appear. So I'm just going to keep it for right now. So we need only 5C appear. It's going to be here 5C. Okay, it's working. I'm going to make it disappear. The next point, the house is supposed to be Mars. So I'm going to put house name Mars. Let's check it. Okay, I'm getting only 9 out of 176. So done with these points, and right now we need to make sure of ascending and ascending order of these two. So let's start with first gender. So gender, ascending, and next point family name also ascending. Gender first and then family name. Gender, so it's working correctly, the ascending descending. I'm going to save this step as step 23, and let's right now create the report. So go to create and click on report wizard. Go to your step 23 query and add all of this, and make sure that the house code, the class code is not appearing over here. So it's not appearing anyway because I unticked it. Don't group it. and here no need because we already applied it. Tabular it needs to be, and orientation supposed to be portrait. Okay, finally the name is going to be the title, and then finish it. Okay, let's check right now. In the layout view, I need first to check gender, family name, and given name. So gender, family name, and given name. House name, and then maths, computer science, and teacher name. So maths, computer science, I think give more space for computer science. Always use shift or control to hold multiple fields. I mean with the header and its content, not to be disturbed. And then finally the teacher name. Teacher name is supposed to be the last one. Okay, we're done. Let me make sure of the ascending, descending. So ascending depending on the gender, and the second level depending on the family name. That's working correctly. I will remove this. I'm done. So I'm done with this point, and then it needs to calculate an average maths mark in this selection and position this. Okay, it's clearly mentioned. We need to position it, this number below the math column, and display the average mark with 0 decimal places. Okay, so we need the average maths with the 0 decimal places, and we need to make a label that appearing on the left side. Okay, we need to calculate first the average math. So that's, we're going to go to over here, click on design, and then you have to select the maths field, right click on it, and then click on total and click on average. We're supposed to get the average for the maths, or you can just select it and write it by yourself. And I'm supposed to make it 0 decimal place, so go to properties, and decimal place supposed to be 0. And then we're supposed to create a label over here on the left side. I'm going to make it bold. And right now we need to place it in the under the right place. Oh, this haven't changed, so I need to make sure of it that it is decimal place. Okay, you can see that it is 0 here. But one thing to make sure that it is showing 0 decimal place, go to format and make sure that it is a fixed number. So that's going to fix it according to those decimal points. Okay. So this needs to be under maths, like this. So we're done with those points, and then done, and then we need to put the name, title, center number, candidate number at the bottom of the report. So let's go to the report, design, and they didn't ask us to delete whatever needed or not needed. I'm just going to put it at the bottom of the report, and as the report is just one page, I'm just going to place it anywhere over here. So place in your evidence document a screenshot showing the database formula to calculate the average mark for maths. To do so, just go to Home, click on Design View, and take the screen capture of this. And that's step 23, so just place it over here. And save it and print your report card. So that's the last point. Let me save this. Let me save as well this one. And then just go and print your report card. Check it that it is fitting on one page. It's supposed to be all in one page. And then print it out from here. The last part, we need to export this report in a PDF format, and we need to name it as Year 5. And we need to take a screenshot that we saved it in PDF with this name. So we created this step. We need to go to right click. Step 23 was named as this one. Yes, that was step 23. So right click on it and then export it as PDF or XPS. Put the name they suggested to you and make sure it is in PDF format. Okay, I just need to take a screen capture for this name and place it in evidence 24. So over here, okay, so that's the last part of this task. And then the last thing, you just need to print all the evidence documents and everything needed for both for this file and all the previous files that we made it. We need to print them. If you check in the description box, you're going to be able to see that there is the whole list of this paper you're watching, whatever is the paper. If you check here in the gray, you're going to be able to see the whole list of the paper that you're currently watching. You will be able to see related with the same variant. And another thing, if you click on more, you will be able to have a link to download those source files. I have uploaded them all. The paper whatever paper you're currently working in it, you can just locate it depending on the number, and you can open it and download their related files. The same thing also at the same location, you will be able to see the timestamps for whatever question related with you can just easily click on it. For further papers, if you are interested, you can just go to the playlist and click on it. Or you can go to the main page and you can see here different playlists. Otherwise, you can see more playlists. If you click on the playlist over here, you will be able to see all the playlists.